So right now we've got the light shining above your head, and we've got 9 angels all coming together. Already I can feel the vibration of the energy rising. I'm smiling even though my eyes are closed, because I think the energy coming together, there's a lot of high vibrating, there's a lot of fun. Just imagine that light now, just going through into your forehead and just down your body into your throat chakra. And it's just expanding that and just clearing away any blocks that are there. And this will enable us to speak our truth and also listen. And just imagine the light now is going down, it's traveling down into our heart. And as you breathe in, just feel your heart expanding. Just feel it expanding. Just feel your heart expanding with love. Light is lighting up your body as it passes through. And it's continuing down into your tummy, into your hips. And it's going all the way down our legs, down into our feet. And the light is going all the way down into the earth, just rooting us to the earth, so that we are connected to source energy from above, and we're also connected to the earth below. And we're just going to honor the planet of Jupiter at the moment and the energy from that planet. And just repeat after me in your mind. I am expansion and joy. I am optimistic. I am free. I am open to opportunity. I am open to abundance. And I choose to share my wealth and my knowledge with those around me. I choose also to receive all knowledge from others as well at this moment. And in alignment with the Saturn energy, I am powerful. I am safe. I am life. I am open to all the new possibilities that are available to me. I am ready to let go of anything that is not serving me and moving me forward. And in alignment with the energy of Aquarius, I am open to all forms of advanced thought. I am ready to give my hopes and dreams time and energy. I am inventive. I am progressive. I love to promote high ideals. I value scientific and universal truths. I am transformational. And I am community. I am love. And just take a deep breath into your body. And relax. And just one more. And relax. And just before we open our eyes, if we can all just set an intention for ourselves for the next 45 minutes to connect with at least one of our core values. Okay. And when you're ready, we can begin. Okay. Everybody okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is a really powerful time. And it's a really good time. And I think that, you know, because for the last 6 weeks, we have been working on the power of ourselves. And again, you know, everything that we're doing, it is, if you can do it from a investigative, I can never say it, point of view, as like an observer. So an observer in your life. So you're not like, we're not trying to move away from old habits or old ways where we might look and we might judge something that we do or ways that we've been, because it's not about that. It's about just looking, and it's about really finding what lights you up, like what really lights you up. What are you passionate about? What do you love? And asking yourself, is that present in your life? Yeah. So I don't know, did you get that piece of paper?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what I'm going to do is, if it's all right, let me see, we've got 2, 4, 6. So the people who have their phones off, do you want to, you can type in the chat, do you want to or do you not want to be in a group with your phone off or not? It doesn't make any difference, and I don't want any pressure on you. So, because I know that, so Miss Campbell, are you happy to be in a group or not? You don't have to be, I can chat with you if you don't want to.
Yeah, if that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to just put you into little breakout groups for about 15 minutes, yeah? And on that list, I just want you to circle anything that resonates with you. So circle anything that resonates with you. But what I'd really like then after that is for you to get it down to 3 beliefs, yeah? 3. So the 3 that are the most important to you. Angelina's shaking her head.
That's impossible, only 3. I want them, half of them.
I agree, but because you could look at this from a point of view of lots of different angles, right? So a lot of the time if you ever do any business coaching, you're looking at it from a point of view, say, of your business. But let's today, this is all about the power of you. So let's just try and think of, get it down to 5 then. Get it down to 5, yeah. And just to see what is really important to you in your life. And then we're going to come back, and then we're going to just do a little bit of an exercise just to see, actually, is it really that important? Because people might think it is, but it may not be, yeah? So Nicola, that's fine, absolutely fine. So Nicola, Nicola, do you want to just listen in? Just if you put it in the chat, if you do, that's fine. So what I'm going to do, let me have a look here. So assign manually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's have a look. Assign manually, create. add a room and assign, and we're going to go to that, and then that. Add a room. So you should get an invitation just now. So Nick and Nick. Okay, so now breakout rooms not started, open all rooms. There we go. So just join them, and then so just have a chat amongst yourselves. If anybody struggles with it, just again have a little chat amongst yourselves and see what comes up, and just I'll bring you back in. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I haven't got any invitation though.
Who hasn't got an invitation?
I haven't.
I haven't.
Open all rooms. Let's have a look. Open all rooms.
Oh yes.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Hello. Stop.
And funny, just look on the bright side of life type of thing. The best way you can. Understanding, because that is a big part of my job role, and being a parent and listening and all of that kind of thing. Not sort of understanding to the point where you say, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, or I know what you mean. Just listening and being able to understand as best you can in all sorts of fields, whether you're just gleaning knowledge or whatever. And the other one is art, because art is everywhere. Music, everything that lights you up, as you say, Lavinia.
That's very good. And again, when you were saying about the understanding, that could incorporate a lot of others, because to be understanding, you need to be compassionate, and you need to be kind. And I think also to be understanding, you need to be honest as well. And so that, and I think a lot of other ones are in kind of entwined in that one. So yeah, that's good. Sam, you're next on my screen.
Yeah. Well, the words jumped out at me as well, sort of straight away. So that was quite good. And the first one was abundance, which I think boxes off a lot of the other words.
Yeah.
So, if you have abundance, you've sort of got achievement, adventure, affection, choice, comfort, confidence. Do you know what I mean? If just things are in abundance. So definitely that. Then love, of course, love, because what is life without love? And that's self-love, loving unconditionally, which is always work in progress, I think, isn't it? And just loving life. So it's a small word, but it's one of my values. And then I circled health, and I'm, touch wood, very healthy. And I think I circle that maybe because one or two of my friends have really been very heavily affected, by lockdown, sort of mental health issues. And because I've never suffered from any of that, it's sort of been a bit of a learning curve, sort of getting to know, sort of understand, because like some of my friends who are, they hold down like really big jobs, powerful jobs, but a couple of them are just like scared to death, with the virus, and just are really suffering sort of thing at the moment, which is, so I think you have to never take your health for granted, and just make sure that you are as healthy as possible, and do everything that you can to be healthy.
But you see, that I think is very, again, that's building this conscious awareness now, that actually health is important to you. So again, like I said at the beginning, I think once you become aware of what is very important to you, the choices that you make are different. So the choices that you might make, like even just something like that hot chocolate that we were talking about, so you've made a choice at the moment not to have that, which will be impacting your health positively, I'm sure. But then, you could have one, or whenever you feel like it, but I think that that once you get into alignment and congruent with your core beliefs, I think then you find that you're flowing in life, that you're moving forward, that you're happier, because you are actually putting your attention and your energy on those things that are important to you. And the thing with it is, they'll all change, because our beliefs and our values when we were 5 and 6 are totally different to what we had at 15, 16, which will be different to what we had at 25, which will be different. I know a lot of you here aren't over 40, but for those of you that are, that will be different in your 40s. But and that's why it's important to check in all the time to see, have your beliefs or your values changed, based on, your thing. But I think your core beliefs will always stay the same. So things like, abundance, love, and health, I don't think, that they're core. So they're at the core of everything that you'll do. I think that's really good. So I've got Angelina on my screen.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
As Sam said, most of the things you can cover with one word, actually. So you have to find one that ticks everything else. So abundance is one of mine as well. I had art as well, and other words that actually I left behind, and I actually got to 3 at the end. Plus 3. Abundance, joy, and spirituality. And actually everything I read about all spiritual movements, they all talk about love, wisdom, truth. So it's all in there, isn't it? And yes, I don't know. I never thought about health I've always known that health is very important, but as some said, because I never had any problems, you don't even think about that, do you?
But
I've had the virus.
Pardon?
But that's fine. I've had the virus, but that's fine. I've had a lot worse colds than that, so it was very, very easy going thing. I had lovely 10 days off.
Yeah.
But again, it's what we believe and what we I think those are the ones I've gone down to at the moment.
And like you say, with abundance, abundance can actually be relevant to lots of things. You can have abundance of love, abundance of health.
And my abundance is different than your abundance as well. So, what is important for me, I think, is in that abundance, as well as yours as well. It's just what we think is important for us. This is what we look for.
Again, when you identify what is important to you, then you need to ask yourself, is it present in your life? Because you say that it's important to you, you can say that, abundance is very important to me, or say art is very important to me, but is it actually present in your life? And then, if it isn't, how can you bring it into your life on a daily basis? What can you do to bring it in? So, and then again, it's looking at ways of being creative with that. But you made a very, very, very good point, Angelina, and that is that everybody's beliefs and values will be very different. Even though we all might say the word abundance, we might say abundance is very important to me. My idea of abundance might be totally different to yours, and it doesn't really matter. That's the whole thing, because this is doing an observation, a synopsis of yourself, not of anybody else. This is of yourself, and is of what, again, if you're unsure, ask yourself, does this light me up? And that's it. Does it light me up? And if it doesn't light you up, why are we spending our time doing it? I think this whole year has kind of given us an opportunity to ask lots of questions, to get very curious about what really is important for everybody. And we do. I know for myself, I could spend a lot of time doing things that don't necessarily light me up. And that's where you get creative, because there's loads of people out here. So say, for instance, I love creating content. I love creating workbooks and things, but I'm not that mad about doing accounts, but there'll be somebody out there who absolutely will hate to do anything creative or what seems to be creative, but will actually say, give me numbers, give me spreadsheets, give me lots of them. Aline's shaking her head.
Yes. I'm not an accountant, but yes.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, so there's lots of people, you don't have to do everything yourself. So again, it's finding out what lights you up and seeing, is there anything that you can offload? Can you get help with something? And again, what can you do that will make your life move forward and easier? So next up on the screen is Huawei Pro 20 Pro. I think that's Maureen.
Oh, is that me? That is me. Sorry. Yeah, probably the three that are coming for me, and probably the biggest one is truth, and it's my truth. Because I think the one thing, and probably through doing your courses and that, I've sort of found myself, and I'm doing things that are important to me now, and even things. I'm not just agreeing with people. I'm not a people pleaser or any. I'm losing that people pleasing. I'm doing, if it feels right, that's okay. If it doesn't feel right, that's fine too.
Yeah.
The other is relationships. I just love people around me, and I'm I'm with all the right people now, if that makes sense. I am not with people that would have upset me or anything. I've sort of moved away from stuff like that, and I'm actually very grateful for where I am in life at the moment. So yeah.
That's really good. And with relationships, obviously we all have relationships with all different people, and they're very important. But our relationships, if you're ever unsure about a relationship, ask yourself, how invested are you in the relationship? First of all, are you invested? Because you might think, oh, this is a really important relationship to me, but ask yourself, how invested are you in that relationship? And again, does that relationship light you up again, or move you forward, or does it not? And there may be relationships in your life as well that with family relationships, and sometimes with work dynamics, with work relationships, if the relationship is difficult and it's not like you're saying, well, this doesn't light me up, ask yourself, what am I supposed to be learning from this relationship? Because this relationship, I have attracted this into my life right now at this time. And what am I supposed to be learning about myself from this relationship? And if you flip that around, so instead of being, angry with somebody or something like that, just say to, thank them. Just say, oh, thanks very much for bringing that into my awareness. I was totally unaware, And if you're in with relationships, if you're in any relationships that are trying or difficult, and especially say on the work front, what you need to try and do is you need to try and kind of have a little bit of critical thinking about that relationship. So instead of going in with your story and your old story, or they don't understand me, they're always at me, they're always doing this, they're always, ask yourself, what assumptions are you making? First of all, are you making assumptions about what they're thinking? And the likelihood is you are, but ask yourself, what assumptions am I making about this situation right now? Ask yourself, what assumptions do you think they're making right now about you and the situation? And then also ask yourself, if there was a third party, neutral person looking in at this relationship right now, what questions would they be asking? So what questions would they be asking me, or would they be asking the other person? So again, it's just to try and help you, because if you're in a difficult relationship, it is to teach you something, or for you to learn something, and to move forward. So don't look at it as bad. Look at it as, oh my God, what am I learning? What am I learning about myself here? Am I learning that I'm not patient? Am I learning that I lose my temper? Am I learning that I'm not listening It could be anything, you know, I'm just saying that. So, but I think that's a good one. I think relationships, because each and every one of us have a relationship with everybody that's in our life, you know, and I think that's a very good one.
Yeah, no, I have, and probably my relationship where it would have been polished would probably more my family, because I'm the youngest. And I know I'm probably the eldest here, but I'm the youngest in that. And I have found that difficult because I'm the youngest, so I don't listen to her. She knows not, I don't mean it. And where I found my voice and said, no, you know, I'm here, you know, and I do matter. Which, yeah, it may have ruffled some feathers. But
I'm just doing this
yeah,
because that's a great statement, what you've just said. Wow, that's very powerful. Write that down. I am here and I matter. That's amazing, that is.
yeah,
Because that's all you need to know about everything that you do. I'm here and I matter, you know,
yeah.
and that is really good. I mean, how does it make you feel to?
Well, it's funny, some people like their six, and some have taken it very well, and some have sort of said, oh, where she's found, what's up with her, and they've gone a different, and that's fine too. That's where they're at, you know. But it's taken the stress out of my life, which is wonderful. You know, yeah, because it's different when it's family. You know, it can be heightened, but yeah, but I mean, work-wise, and like everything else is great, but it was difficult then. But like, it's much better where it's at now. Yeah.
This new energy that we're in at the moment, and the whole Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. So the Aquarius works on the higher chakras. So and one of them is the throat chakra, and you know, and again, the frequency and the vibration is very quick, and you can change things very quickly. But stepping into your truth, and saying what you want to say, I always say, you know, always deliver something in a compassionate way. And if you are going to deliver some like bad news to somebody, I always say, if you can start on a positive, like by commending them on even just being there and giving you the time, that kind of changes how they respond to you slightly. But speaking your truth is really all very, very important in living a life in balance and in flow, because also by doing that, you're not mad at yourself because you know that you've said it, you know, you've spoken up. But also what you've said as well is that you're not making an assumptions, and you're not judging the other people, even though they may not have responded in the way that previously you wanted, because you felt everybody needed to like you, but they don't. You know? And they do though, but you're not making that assumption. So that's really good. Well done. So I have Aline next in my corner.
So one that jumped up at me straight away was efficiency. Yes, straight away, because I am at work, at home. I'm called Mrs. They call me Mrs. Organized at home, and my boys at home say that I have OCD, which is actually partly true, but yes, I have to. That's the way I think. That's the way I am. I just have to be everything organized, everything at the right time, everything, not forgetting things, making lists, making plans. I like that. I have to, otherwise I just go. Sometimes, yes, like at work, they don't even ask me if I've done it because they know I have, and more, for example, so they trust me. Which is perhaps why I feel I have to be efficient, because I want to be trusted. And at home, for example, something like I will never forget any of my friends' or family birthdays or present. And actually one time I forgot. And my friend, instead of being annoyed at me, just called me and said, I know it's my birthday, but I called you because you forgot. And so I'm worried about you. And right, I wasn't well. So yes, so yes, I like to be dependable.
Yeah.
And that for me to be like that, I have to be efficient. So I am. And so don't get in my way when I'm trying to get efficient, because then I'll go all French on you.
Yeah.
The other one is gratitude, which is a new one for me, actually, that I've started from Reiki with you, and then with the Abundance Connection. And oddly enough, that came at the same, because I've had CBT this for the past year.
Yeah.
And it came at the same time as the homework I had to do for CBT, the gratitude. So that's a new big one for me now. And the other one is truth. Because I hate liars. I hate fake people. And I'm a very bad liar anyway, so you can read my face. So there's no point me lying. I can't even lie on the phone to my dad. It's mad. He's a gendarme, so perhaps that's what it is. But
and for those of you that don't know, policeman.
Yes, sorry.
Doesn't say.
Of course, Avinia is bilingual. Yes, so for me, truth is important. Truth I hate to be lied to. I'd rather have bad news than being lied to with something nice. I don't like it. I'd rather be criticised and just, oh yeah, good. When it's not good, I don't like it. And my own truth. And it's only this year, I think, that I'm finding my own truth, actually, thanks to Reiki and through the workshop with you, Lavinia. So that's important to me. And compassion as well. And I think that's one of the things that we did in the other pillar that we did. Compassion for me is important because it's about understanding people, not judging them, taking them for what they are. And like my friend becoming a vegan, and I thought initially, what? And then I thought, no, it's her truth. She wants to do it, so I just accept it and then try to understand what is what. So compassion, and then that's why people come to me to.
And with compassion, compassion is a two-way street. So it's compassion for other people and understanding. But I'd say one of the biggest things with compassion is compassion for yourself. So,
yes.
Which isn't always as easy. You can be very compassionate to others, but, again, that's just beliefs that we have to be a certain way. And again, it's worth checking to make sure, are the beliefs that we have, do they still support us? That's the thing. Are they still moving us forward, or do they hold us back in any way? Because it may be time to readjust them. But compassion is very important for yourself. I think,
which I've only started doing since I started my CBT last year, actually. And so that's a new thing for me.
Yeah, and that's really good. And with that combined with the gratitude, you can be grateful for being more compassionate to yourself. And compassion and gratitude, again, it's on, everything that we're doing is on an energetic level, and it's all kind of frequencies, and they're one of the higher ones. And so what you're putting out is what you'll be attracting more back of. So like vibrating and being in the energy of gratitude, being in the energy of compassion, will attract, and being in the energy of abundance will attract a lot back into your life. So,
and the fifth one I had, sorry, because I had 5, is relationship.
Yeah.
And for me, in that, I included my family, who I'm very close to, my friends, and work.
Yeah.
And actually, one thing that COVID has, because I mean, it's the same for everybody. Some people are more loners than not. I'm not. I have to have my close friends around me, not loads of it, just the good ones. I'm a social person, I think. But one thing that COVID was good for is I had one person at work who was in position of power and the best friend of the director, and she was bullying me. And my boss could see it, but of course but a man with no balls, unfortunately, and his hands were tied because he was not the big boss, and they just let it carry on, and COVID got rid of her. So that's my positive. I know it's naughty to say it, but
so that's the reality that you wanted to create, and you created it. So it is. This does work, you know, if you put your attention on wanting, you know, a better work environment, not necessarily saying that you wanted her to be gone, but a better work environment for you would mean that that person was no longer there. And
that was huge. Yeah, that has just changed. That has just changed the mood of the whole office, although we're not in, but yeah, it has. And it's so relationships are important for me, and I cultivate them. And
I would with that one, what I would do is I would spend some time, I think you should spend some time yourself journaling as to what was the lesson that you were to learn. Why did that person come into your life? What was it that you were to learn about yourself, you know, in that situation? And if you were put in that situation again, how would you approach it differently? Would you approach it differently? Do you think everything was fine? So again, it's just for you to increase your knowledge of yourself. And also, because it's something has happened, if it's new, we don't know how, we're not necessarily certain how to deal with things, but because it's already happened, you can have a strategy in place to almost shut it down straight away so that you won't allow that to happen again in a work environment. But again, you can do that from your compassionate standpoint of view, not necessarily a, you know.
That's very true, actually. Yeah.
Very good. And Lorraine.
So my first word is definitely gratitude. Being a holistic therapist, I'm very into the universe and being grateful for what it brings to me. Even, you know, I wouldn't say that I was very wealthy or anything, but I have my health. I have 2 healthy children, and, you know, they are good, especially in these times at the moment. And particularly because I have a friend whose daughter was murdered 2 years ago, and then her husband died in the middle of COVID in September. So I look at her and I think, you know what, there is nothing that happens in my world that is even a fraction of what that woman has to live with. So I'm very grateful for what is given to me anyway, and that I have health and healthy children and stuff. So gratitude is one of my big things that I have to make sure that I do to the universe on a daily basis, for what they bring to me. Because when I'm grateful for what I'm given more of what I need, because I put it out there.
Sure.
And that's one of my big beliefs. The more you put out positivity, the more you get back.
And, you know, with your friend, I mean, you know, what she's gone through is like horrific. It really is dreadful. But I was talking to Jenny Cox recently, who is the creator of the Balance Procedure. And we were talking about something, and I was saying that I felt sorry for somebody, and she came down on me like a ton of bricks, absolutely like a ton of bricks. And she just said, don't ever feel sorry for somebody, because she said, by you feeling sorry for them, you're amplifying that energy. So she said, what if somebody is going through a bad time or is in a bad situation, send them all the love that you can, or send them positive, or put your focus and attention on, you know, what they want to make their life better, rather than on. And it was like, I just thought, actually, it was just something that really resonated with me. And I just thought, actually, it's very true, because by feeling, I'm not with your friend, it's terrible, you know, but sometimes when we feel like sorry for people, we kind of keep them stuck in that energy because that's where they are. But it's actually wanting happier times, just where your friend can even sleep, probably get through the night and sleep. She's probably not sleeping or whatever, but again, it's give all of your positivity and all of your gratitude and everything. send that to her, that and that energy will amplify for her.
Yeah, I mean, I do on a daily basis. I send her healing all the time, because and I don't actually feel sorry as such for her. I struggle being holistic in the way my beliefs in the universe, and that we are sent things because they are challenges that we need to learn in our lives. And I had another friend whose husband, he died during the first lockdown, but he'd been ill for probably about 3 years. Originally, he had esophageal cancer, and then it was pancreatic during the lockdown. But even for her, she's holistic as well, and for her it was awful that he died, and don't get me wrong, but she was very positive in the fact that she said, well, with the lockdown, for her it gave her 6 weeks of not having to work or anything, to just concentrate on being with him for the last 6 weeks of his life. So she got to say goodbye to him. She got to do everything she needed to do, because she knew he was terminal, and it was inevitable that he would pass over, but she was fine about it. But for my friend, I really struggle with finding a reason or something. I mean, how can you be positive to someone whose daughter was murdered, and then her husband dies 10 days before the 2nd anniversary of her daughter's murder from cancer? And I just like, what lesson has that woman got to learn in this life, that she sent that much pain? I get people you know, pass on for varying reasons. Her daughter, I believe, she passed on because she's doing bigger things up there than we can ever imagine. She was destined to go on her 22nd birthday. That was her destiny in life. But why did she have to be murdered, is my question to the unit. I've meditated for long about this, and my question is, why was such a traumatic end to her life that so hurt her mother? And her mother now believes that her father's cancer was because he never grieved properly for his daughter. So it was a cell that set in him and killed him ultimately from the stress of it all.
So, I mean, that's a very difficult situation. And, you know, again, like there is no right or there's no answer really to it. You know, so it's kind of, I you know, just if it was me, I would just try and support my friend as best as I could. But I don't know, anybody want to, Sam, you're the fountain of all knowledge. What would you say in that situation?
Well, sometimes you just never get an answer. So you can spend a lot of time looking and worrying and tormenting yourself to try and find an answer for something, and it's never going to materialize. I definitely agree with the point that you made, Lavinia, about expectation about people, because I'm fortunate because people just think I'm really lucky. That they just say you're just so lucky, and I concur with that. So I'm the person that will win the raffle. I just always do. And I was at an event, and as I bought a ticket, I said, actually, I'll have 2. And the people behind me said, well, you won't win. And I said, well, I probably will win twice. And then when they drew the thing out, I won twice, and I was embarrassed. So I gave one of the gifts back and said, "Oh, draw it again," you know, because people's expectation can do you good, a lot of good. Because I think some of you know that we went for planning permission on Greenbelt, you know, and lots of people said, "Well, there's only you could get that." And I said, yes, there is only us that could get that, you know, because you just sort of have to kind of reinforce that. But going back to your friend, if sort of tragedy strikes like that, there's just no answer, and sometimes to stop looking and to just have some sort of acceptance, but then just to say, well, things can now turn the corner. And definitely if the husband, because I think that illnesses come from, or can quite often come from an anxiety or a stress or
Absolutely.
something.
I
Definitely.
that.
So if she can sort of, if that gives her an answer to her husband, and then the daughter, it just doesn't bear thinking about, but then maybe she can sort of now turn a page and just go forward and find something that she can do. And you know, if everybody kind of says, well, you've had enough, rather than saying, well, things happen in threes, so what's the next thing that's going to be happening to you, you know.
And she had breast cancer before the daughter.
Oh, well, there we go then. So if everybody just says, well, that's your three things, and for the rest of your life it's all going to be amazing,
yeah,
and she, you know, manifests up amazing stuff, then you know, that's
because I think the other thing as well is about, like what Sam is saying, is that which is very hard. It is very hard when you're in a situation, but I really feel that you need to take it sometimes, you know, hour by hour, not even day by day, just hour by hour. But is to try and put your attention and your focus onto something different, because what you said, I 100% believe that most illnesses and are manifested from energy that we've retained in ourselves. And you know, a lot of it is down to, I think, anger, suppressed anger that you might suppress, or you know, frustration, anxiety, and which there would be a lot in that situation. So even for yourself, Lorraine, you know, it is to try, I know it's easier said than done, but make sure that you're not holding on to unnecessary, because that will manifest itself as well for yourself, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, I've sort of put it to bed over the time, because I know that, you know, it, as you say, it breeds problems, and I, you know, I don't want problems in my, sorry, my puppy's decided to come say hello.
She's coming to tell you everything's going to be okay.
Well, that's joyful, isn't it? Could your friend get it? Has your friend got a puppy?
She's got a Newfoundlander dog. He's
oh my God, they're huge.
Yeah, absolutely huge. Yeah.
Oh, look how every single person on the screen is smiling when that little doggy came.
Gorgeous.
Already, you see, that's something that has kind of shifted straight away, just like that, shift the energy.
Totally.
And it's really good. Did you have another one?
Yeah, I did. Family was my other one. Again, it goes back to my gratitude that, you know, my family are healthy, and my mum and dad are still alive. They're in their 80s, but they're really good and healthy and stuff. So, and the other one is my work that I do, because I just love what I do, and I love doing the healing and the Reiki and all my crystal work and stuff. And when it gets taken away like this, but I do believe it gets taken away for a while for me personally, and I'm not saying that the whole pandemic is about that, but for me, the universe is saying, take a rest, give it a rest for a little while, and then you recharge your batteries and go back to it, you know. So, you know,
that is brilliant. And I think, you know, for people that are watching, you know, on the catch up, try and get, I mean, you can see there is a connection, I think, in all of the values that we've all chosen, and some of them definitely overlap with others. So choosing one could kind of have almost like an umbrella effect of like compassion, you know, kindness, caring, understanding, I think, could all come under that one. But the important thing then, the identifying bit is the kind of first bit, but the important bit is to look and to observe your life as you're living it now, and ask yourself, you know, are your values present? Are your values the ones that you think are really important? And like when you're doing it yourself, you can highlight as many as you want. But the idea is to bring what is important to you into your life. And, you know, doing this exercise, we can write things down, but actually ask yourself on a day-to-day basis, how do I incorporate those values? You know, am I really grateful for my family, or am I moan a minute, you know, and narky about everything, jumping down people's throats? So because, oh, hello, is that gone?